Hank MacLean from Fallout and Eobard Thawne, as portrayed by Matt Letcher in The Flash, appear at first glance to belong to entirely different moral universes. One is a soft-spoken vault overseer wrapped in the aesthetics of nuclear family stability. The other is a time-traveling adversary driven by resentment and obsession. Yet both characters operate through civility rather than spectacle. Both weaponize trust, and both unsettle audiences precisely because they do not look like what we expect villains to look like. The most immediate contrast lies in presentation. Hank radiates warmth. He smiles easily, explains himself calmly, and embodies the approachable father archetype. His authority is wrapped in reassurance. He does not posture or dominate physically. In a cultural framework where masculinity is often associated with stoicism, aggression, or overt control, Hank instead projects gentleness and emotional availability. He feels safe. Letcher's Thawne, by contrast, is controlled rather than warm. He is polite, articulate, measured, but beneath the civility there is visible intensity. His eyes carry calculation. His voice carries deliberate precision. He does not raise his volume to assert power. He asserts it through psychological superiority. If Hank projects belonging, Thawne projects quiet intellectual dominance. Yet both characters share a structural similarity. They embed themselves inside trust. Hank becomes the moral center of Lucy's world. He represents order, continuity, and paternal protection. His identity is inseparable from the idea of the stable nuclear family. The shock of his revelation, that he authorized or enabled the destruction of a city, lands not simply because of the scale of the atrocity, but because it shatters that trusted identity. Thawne similarly embeds himself in proximity. In Letcher's portrayal, he often appears mentor-like, calm, almost patient. He studies people. He gains access to their vulnerabilities. But unlike Hank, whose actions are framed as systemic necessity, Thawne's actions are deeply personal. His motivations stem from envy, identity collapse, and resentment. He is not preserving civilization. He is correcting what he perceives as an injustice against himself. This distinction marks the deepest divide between them. Hank's darkness is administrative. He thinks in decades. He thinks in structures. His moral framework is hierarchical, survival of the system above survival of individuals. When he authorizes destruction, he does so not out of hatred, but out of preservation logic. He believes he is safeguarding the future, even if that requires erasing thousands in the present. Thawne's darkness is existential. He thinks in legacy, in destiny, in personal significance. When he destroys lives, it is because his identity demands reassertion. His cruelty carries emotional charge. Even in restraint, there is vindictiveness. Hank sacrifices people to protect the system. Thawne destabilizes to avenge himself. Both are terrifying, but in different ways. Thawne is frightening because he is intimate and obsessive. He will pursue, manipulate, and psychologically dismantle you because it satisfies his internal grievance. His evil is active, sharp, and personal. Hank is frightening because he is calm and justified. He does not need to hate you. You are simply a variable in a larger equation. He will erase a city and still hold his daughter tenderly, believing both actions are consistent with his role as protector. This is where Hank becomes more unsettling on a societal level. Thawne resembles the archetype of the vengeful antagonist, intelligent, controlled, but clearly antagonistic once revealed. Hank resembles the man society trusts with responsibility. He does not project threat. He projects stability. His masculinity is not dominance. It is measured reassurance. And because we are trained to detect danger in overt intensity rather than quiet normalcy, Hank passes beneath suspicion. In the end, both characters reveal the same uncomfortable truth. Civility is not morality. Calmness is not goodness. And sensitivity does not preclude severity. But they diverge in purpose. Thawne wants to matter. Hank wants the system to endure. One burns because he was denied greatness. The other extinguishes because he believes he is necessary. And that difference defines the nature of their darkness.